I would imagine by now you all know that we love showcasing Conduit projects, and most of the time, probably like 98% of the time or something, we highlight the things that you guys create and the clever hacks and solutions that you all come up with. But in today's video, I want to do something a little different and show you a few builds that were put together recently by our shop manager, JT. Huge shout out to him. He did a really awesome job, as always, with these builds, and there's some really cool things within them that I think you all will find useful for your own projects. So we're going to walk through and take a look at them, and I'll highlight some different things about them. But before we do that, real quick, you might see that in some of our recent videos, if you've watched our old videos or if you've been watching for a while, you might notice that the background has changed. And that's because we're in a new space dedicated for filming, which is really exciting. We used to just use a spare bedroom, but some industrial space pretty close by to the shop where we manufacture the connectors and ship from came available. And now we've moved in here and we use it for storage, and we've sectioned off part of it to use for filming, which is really exciting because we get to do cool stuff. We have planned like live streams where we do full-on builds that are actually live streamed. We used to just do tabletop builds at the desk.
Okay, I'm probably gonna electrocute myself tonight on stream.
But now we have planned to do some bigger live streams and all kinds of fun stuff, so that's really exciting. And within that, we needed some specific, things built here for this shop and this space, and that's what we're going to look at today. So we're just going to walk through, and like I said, I'll just highlight some really cool things that JT incorporated into these builds. So let's walk around and I'll show them to you. All right, so first things first is this work table or cart here. And this is meant for videos whenever we showcase, hacks that are just kind of a few items, just a small amount of things that we want to showcase and highlight. We used to use a table in Dave's garage that was really low, but me and Dave are both over 6 feet tall. So we needed to make sure this one was higher to us and it's above our waist, which is just more comfortable, but also looks better on camera, yada, yada, yada. But we needed something custom, of course. So we built it with conduit and connectors, and it's just a pretty good height. And it's got 90-degree connectors in the corners to make the overall, cube shape. Then it's got some cross pipes in the bottom that are meant to support these bins. We like to use these. These are from Northern Tool, I believe. They're yellow. That's the Northern Tool color. But anyway, it's made to hold these bins. I got to get some more. Right now I just have one to kind of show you guys. But the thought process is we'll have some of these bins down here with different things inside of them. So if we're working on a project, this is meant to be kind of the project cart. So we can walk up and maybe we'll have maker pipe parts in the bins. Maybe we'll have pieces that we're using, like hacks or one-hole straps for something that we're using in the build at hand. So these pipes down here are meant to support that. Then something really cool is the brace that goes up to the middle. On this side, JT used a crossover clamp to add a pipe that runs from one side to the other. And this supports a pegboard that's just secured in a few different places to the pipes with zip ties. And so we can get some pegboard hooks from Harbor Freight. They're really cheap. We'll be able to put tools on this. So like I said, it'll be a project cart. So we'll have tools that we need on there. We'll have parts that we need in the bins. And then, of course, we'll have stuff on top, including a vise that is bolted to the tabletop. And I think he incorporated, there's a cross brace here. Goes from the side, just using 45-degree connectors. Just added that just for extra support and stability of the vise, but it's just bolted through the table, as you can see. And I've already used this. I used it in last week's video. We talked about Billy's 3D printed accessories, and it came in handy already. Super cool. Just a simple work cart we can use for projects or videos, whatever. It's kind of a do-it-all, all-purpose cart. And it's on caster, so we can roll it around the shop, which is great. And you might remember we did a video a while back on that, so I'm not going to showcase that desk. We just moved it from the spare bedroom we were using it in, and you guys can check out that video if you want to see it. That's where we record like NPM and other videos and things that we sit at the desk at. But going back this way, we've got the next build, which is a workbench that's not really supposed to move. It's supposed to stay in one spot, and I'm not really sure where yet. I got to configure everything once we get the CNC put together and kind of move everything around and kind of get it all configured. But right now, this is where it is. And this is really cool because it's also meant to hold bins as well as tools. As you can see, we've already started putting some tools up there. But this workbench, as I said, is supposed to just live in one spot, and we could use this for different things if we need a larger work area. This is, I think, over 7 foot, maybe 6, 7 foot, I believe. We'll have a large space. It's kind of deep, so plenty of space we can, work and do different things on. And within this, there's some pretty cool techniques. So JT kind of offset the pipes here As you can see, the back pipe is a little bit higher up than this one, just to kind of offset and add a little bit of slope so the bins can sit at an angle, and we'll be able to basically we plan to put all kinds of different hacks, or kind of a part supermarket, I think Dave called it. I think we can fit 16 of those bins, I believe. Yeah, somewhere around there. But anyway, it doesn't really matter how many, but it's like 15 or 16 bins. And say, like right now I've got zip ties in there. Then we can put like 1-hole straps, 2-hole straps. They also have dividers in there so you can separate in half. So we can double the storage. We can put bolts, threaded rods, threaded pipe inserts, all the different things we might need while building, we can put in the bins, which will be really exciting. And it's cool that that's offset in the back, so it'll be a little bit slanted, easier to kind of reach into. And then up top, very similar to the work cart, we've got some pegboard, again, just zip tied to the frame. And it's just supported by this cross pipe that goes all the way down. And you might notice here we got a telescoping clamp, and it's repeated on the other side. And there's just a simple arm that goes up, and there's a light secured to this. And we'll be able to basically just twist the telescoping clamp on both sides and then raise and lower this light. And if we want to focus it in on something down here, we can lower it. Or if we want to just give light to the whole table, we can raise it up. And I would turn on the light, but we don't have power on this side of the shop. Well, we do, but we don't have like an outlet on this side of the shop yet. So can't turn on the light yet, but there is a light there, which would be really cool. It's adjustable, and that's pretty awesome. But like I said, this one doesn't have casters. It's meant to just stay in one spot. So we won't really be moving that one around, but that build is awesome. Then last but not least is this really cool conduit storage. And this is something we just kind of gave the idea to JT and said we need to store conduit because, as you guys can imagine, we've got scrap conduit out the wazoo. There's conduit leaned up in corners of both shops and in the offices. There's just scrap conduit everywhere, as well as 10-foot sticks of top rail, 1-inch EMT, 3/4-inch EMT, and 1/2-inch EMT conduit. So we needed to store it, and thankfully the ceilings over here are pretty tall. And we've got 10-foot sticks here, and this rack is just 5 foot tall. And basically, it's just made, as you can see, to be kind of slanted. So the 10-foot sticks can be stored vertically in this front section. And it's a really simple construction, but really cool nonetheless. You can see it's kind of tall in the front here, just to kind of keep the conduit and the top rail from sliding out and falling over. And then it just leans up against the rack, and the rack is 5 foot tall. So our thought process is anything over 10 foot, or sorry, anything over 5 foot is leaned up here. And then there's dividers here separating the 4 different sizes that our connectors work with right now. And then on the back, you can see we got these wood boxes. My grandfather was throwing out some old wood, and I grabbed it, thankfully, and they were actually, the pieces were perfectly cut to fit inside of this spot here, and he kind of customized the dimensions, of course, for the wood as well. Basically just made these boxes for 4 different sizes, the top rail, 1-inch EMT, 3/4-inch EMT, and 1/2-inch EMT. And now we've got these boxes that you can store the scrap pieces. If it's under 5 feet, they go in the boxes in the back, and if it's over 5 feet, they can be stored in the front here. And this rack is super cool, and there's a couple of hacks that are really awesome. So inside of here, we wanted this threaded pipe insert in both sides. We kind of wanted to add just a little bit of safety measure, so if the conduit starts to go out, there's something that catches it. And basically all this is threaded pipe insert, but the threaded pipe insert is stacked. So they actually make, I forget what they're called, but it's basically like a double-barreled star nut, where it's got like 4 of the stars on there whenever you hammer it in. But instead, what we like to do is just get one of the lipped inserts, stack that with one of the no-lip inserts that you can't see, and then just hammer them both in just to increase the strength of whatever is being threaded into it. And in this case, that is an eye bolt here that's just threaded directly into both inserts. Got the exact same thing mirrored on this side. And basically, we're just using some cable. This is actually the cable that I used in the video a few weeks back. We talked about securing wires and cables to your builds. And on this side, we've got a carabiner. You can just undo it and then get the conduit that you need off of the rack, and then you can walk back up and, of course, just hook this back on whenever you want to put that little safety barricade back up. Then we also added some 2-hole straps directly into the studs in the wall just to kind of keep the rack from tipping over if for some reason the tubes just all fell forward or something. Want to make sure it's as safe as possible. And it's really cool. It's a really simple rack, but super awesome. Now we have a great place to store conduit, both and top rail, both 10-foot sticks and some scrap pieces as well that we can use for projects and have nice and organized here. And this really won't be on camera. This is why we put it on this wall, because this is the bathroom over here. And we just thought, utilize this wall for something. And I kind of wish we were putting this on camera because it looks really cool with the wood and the conduit and the top rail and everything. So really cool rack. And all three of these builds are awesome. Huge shout out again to JT for doing these builds. And just, he's, like I said, he's the kind of guy you just give an idea to and he makes it happen, which is always great to have around the shop. But thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. Like I said, we don't usually share our own builds, but if you do want to see more of the things that we build around the shop and the office, definitely let us know. We can always do more videos like this, but hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.